northern southerner. I'm going to talk about how to make a comeback. I've been around for quite some time, and with this weight loss journey thing, and being a lap bander, and knowing several people who have had several surgeries, even people who don't have surgery. How does one make a concerted effort? How does one have the focus that they had at one point in time in their journey? How does one forget about mistakes that they've made on the journey? How does one get their plan together? Those are all things that, how does one even motivate themselves? Those are all, I think, things that people will encounter because the new year is coming. And you'll see lots of people getting back into the gym. And, whatever motivates you to get active, use it and then supplement it. So a lot of times people have a one punch kind of combination, which is I'm going to eat right, but then they don't work out. And then they don't sleep. It's a combination of elements, and those elements are, getting back to what works for you. And that could mean taking away things that aren't part of your practical everyday weight loss journey. And I'm not talking about having, sweets every now and then. I'm talking about going to the extreme, which is because a lot of people don't really do well with going with the extreme, which is I'm going to cut out everything today. And then 2 weeks later, you're back in the same situation. So how I do it, and I'll speak for myself, is I ease into everything slowly. So say, for example, if I'm going to start working out more physically or lifting heavier weight, I may take a month and a half to 2 months to get to a certain weight. I just don't go in there and try to kill myself with a heavy amount. I don't get out there and walk 10 miles, for example, when you haven't been walking miles in months. That sets us up for pain and failure. The other reason why I may do it is because I don't want to create a new injury. I've been injury free for 5 years by using this method, which is I warm up into everything, even my food. So if there's going to be some things that I take out of my diet, I just don't go cold turkey on it. It may take me a month previous to get to my most optimum eating plan. I just don't say I'm going to start it today. I gradually get into it. I get my system together, and then I become motivated day after day, week after week, and then month after month. And by doing that, I create patterns that I'm accustomed to, patterns that maybe you had at one point in time on your journey and then somehow lost it. So I always supplement myself. I always add on something new every quarter to what I'm doing. Why? Because workouts get stale. If you've had some form of workout plans that don't really get your heart rate up, that don't burn fat, no matter what your issue is, your weight loss journey is not going to be as effective. Now, I got some buddies out there who cannot get out there and walk, run, lift. Then rehab is what those people may need to do. You may need to rehab a muscle group or a shoulder or a knee for at least 3 to 6 months to get it to a point where you can start to go into some of these other things. But if you think you're going to rehab something for, a week or two, it's not going to work. You're going to get discouraged. You possibly could get discouraged because everybody's a little bit different. So what I try to do for myself is I plan. I don't overthink. I don't overcalculate. I just get into a rhythm. Then I add more to my process. Now, I'm pretty much more of a paleo style eater with a little bit of ice cream at times. That's pretty much my go-to kind of thing. But all in all, if you're trying to get back into the game, you know, even if some people say, you know, go back to your weight loss book or your surgery book, you know, you can, or you can adopt something else. Reason why? Because sometimes that book doesn't work for everybody. Sometimes the nutrients in there, sometimes the caloric intake in some of these books that we receive from our doctors may not be as functional 2 to 3 or 4 years out on your journey. So I just kind of want to talk about it. I'll probably bring it back up again tomorrow because I think there's going to be some people out there who's looking for change but don't really know how to do it. And it's hard. It is hard to consider yourself a failure in something that you can control. And I just want to champion that effort. You know, everybody's going to have their struggles, but we continue to think about ourselves in a positive image. And not just focusing on our faces, because a lot of people, they get, I hate to say it, they get picture crazy. They only taking pictures of their faces. But when you look at the rest of their bodies, they get really discouraged. So all in all, if you're ready for a change, think about the steps that we need to take to improve. Simplify this stuff. Simplify your food, simplify your workout, and let it build over a period of time to where you feel comfortable with it. Once you feel comfortable, then you add more on. Another idea to have is have some people who are consistent around you, so that you can rely on to motivate some of the things that you do, not all of the things, because it wouldn't be fair. The motivation needs to come from inside. How to find that? I don't know how you find it. How I find it is by thinking and then doing it. Just that simple. I'm out. Peace.